Hi, this is Lisa from Goldfax with a short presentation on 7 ways your fax machine is putting you at risk for identity theft. This quick guide to risk exposure will help identify areas in your current environment that pose a security threat and offer some suggestions on solutions that can help you avoid breaches and improve the security of your environment. The first risk of a fax machine is the location of the device. Often organizations store their fax machine in an easy-to-reach, accessible location. Most common places are in hallways, open areas, shared rooms. The risk here is that these areas are unprotected. Heavy foot traffic areas like a hallway pose a number of exposures for someone to walk by and pick up a document off the fax machine, see a confidential fax come in when they're about to send one, or even just for an office visitor to see confidential information they're not authorized to view. The second risk is within the fax content. Typical fax documents include confidential information, for example, purchase orders with credit card information on it, social security numbers, license keys for downloads, medical reports, basically information that can be easily used to steal an identity or expose personal or company information. The other concern is who the content is about. Fax documents often include confidential information about your customers, vendors, partners, and even other employees. So not only are you threatening your own identity, but you're also responsible for your business partners and associates' confidential information. Next risk is off-hour access. Normal business days are more easily monitored, and it's easier for suspicious activity to get a chance of being noticed. However, faxes can often be left sitting around for minutes, hours, sometimes even days. If your fax device is in fact located in an unprotected area, consider the potential exposure that lies in off hours. Business is global, so the likelihood of a fax coming in after hours or on the weekend is not that uncommon. Who might or could be there to view the confidential information? A cleaning or maintenance crew, maybe just a random visitor, or another employee that's not authorized to see the information. Extending hours and implementing extra security measures like finger scans and access codes still leave the basic risk exposure. Internal employees or guests with access can still cause a security breach or simply view information that they're not authorized to view. A fourth risk is document size. The length of documents people fax varies. Some can be 1 or 2 pages, but often faxes can be tens of pages long. Faxing a long or detailed document can take several minutes, and more often than not, intended recipients aren't stationed by their fax machine receiving each page as it comes in. This presents an opportunity for a gap in security where a document can be tampered with or even picked up. For instance, fax piggybacking, where a one-page fax can get mixed in with another longer fax document that is picked up by another employee, creating kind of an unintended theft. Or a blackout of dense images can slow down the process and interfere with incoming and outgoing faxes, creating missing pages or potentially having some of your documents be discarded. Another risk is shared devices and numbers. Not all organizations assign each employee with their own fax number. One machine typically serves several people within a company or even multiple departments. The more people that use a machine, the higher the risk of exposure and easier the potential to steal an identity. Some scenarios could be a CFO's medical test is faxed and an intern picks it up before they're about to fax something, viewing private information of the CFO, not only violating HIPAA, but also creating a breach of security. The likelihood of a fax piggyback, a mix-up, a lost document, or tampering increases with the higher the number of people relying on a single machine. The exposure of evidence of a receipt. How do you prove that your private and confidential information was securely received? Your organization might be secure and have procedures in place, but what about the location you're sending it to? Reaching a dial tone does not ensure that the intended recipient picked it up off the fax machine. Some examples of exposure risks with this include a purchase order with credit card information can reach a destination but not your intended recipient. So a different employee now is exposed and views confidential information they're not authorized to see. Or a contract for a real estate space is picked up by a different agent and discarded or tampered with, and you lose the deal or the space because the proof of receipt that the intended recipient was not there. Finally, the last risk to address is a history report or audit trail. Most fax machines typically maintain a short history of sent or received faxes, including phone numbers, number of pages, date, time, etc. With this in mind, corporate communication is at risk to be viewed by unauthorized eyes. For example, somebody coming to a fax machine and reviewing the previous fax that was sent, gaining information of confidential information. So obviously the risks are very high, and leave yourself asking one question. Is your organization capable of handling the aftermath of lost contracts, identity theft, lawsuits, bad PR, HIPAA fines, and bankruptcy? Probably not. So what can you do? Many organizations think they can or have taken steps to ensure the security of their office by installing physical security measures such as door or cabinet locks, proximity readers, fingerprint scans, even retinal scans. However, while these tactics are good precautions, they don't adequately reduce the risk. The internal risk still exists, and studies show that most security breaches come from internal threats. How many people know the code or can gain access? The same is true for company policies. It's crucial to have guidelines and rules to oblige by, but how do you go about regulating and enforcing that these policies are met by all employees? Fax software is the most effective and efficient way to increase security for your organization. Employing easy-to-use network faxing software like GoldFax enables an organization and its users to avoid costly mistakes and fines that would result from lawsuits regarding lost information, tampered evidence, stolen identities, and other miscellaneous fines. Some features of GoldFax to point out are: it electronically records actions and exchanges of all email faxes, removing the risk of stolen or tampered hard copies. It has routine tracking features to satisfy audit trail requirements and notifies of proof of delivery with a receipt for sent and received documents. It also allows archiving capabilities that automatically record and store information in desired folders, making information easily accessible and available for auditing purposes. And finally, it securely stores all confidential documents. In the type of business world that we live in today, it's crucial to exercise security and precautions. Be proactive and stop any opportunity for your employees, your customers, your partners, and even your identity and information to be stolen. GoldFax is a high-performing fax software solution that scales to any business size, delivering powerful, reliable, and affordable solutions that secure your fax environment and keep you in compliance. That concludes our presentation of 7 ways faxing is putting you at risk for identity theft. As always, the GoldFax team is here to assist you and answer any questions, so please give us a call. Thank you.